Elizabeth Holmes case.
Just one drop of blood for 100 of tests. That is what claimed by Elizabeth Holmes, a Stanford University dropout. She founded Theranos in 2003 when she was only 19 years old. Her dream was bold, she wanted to revolutionize healthcare. Holmes claimed her company had invented a technology that could run hundreds of medical tests using just one drop of blood from a finger prick, instead of using needles and vials of blood. She said her device, called the Edison machine, could detect diseases like cancer and diabetes early, saving countless lives. The idea promised to make blood testing faster, cheaper, and more accessible, especially for people afraid of needles or with limited access to hospitals.
Holmes says she wants to make this sort of testing available anywhere, anytime.
There's no reason why these can't be distributed in very, very decentralized locations.
Your home?
Yeah.
You think people's homes should have these, essentially a clinical laboratory in their own house?
I think that's a very interesting space.
Elizabeth Holmes became the youngest self-made female billionaire in the U.S. She was featured on the covers of Forbes, Fortune, and Time magazines, wearing her signature black turtleneck, often compared to Steve Jobs.
At just 32 years of age, the youngest.
By age 31, she was a celebrated, young entrepreneur in male-dominated Silicon Valley. By then she was worth $9 billion, the youngest self-made billionaire in the United States. Theranos raised over $700 million from investors, reaching a $9 billion valuation at its peak by 2014. It partnered with companies like Walgreens, planning to put testing devices in pharmacies nationwide. Behind the scenes, things were not as they seemed. Theranos claimed their device, called Edison, could carry out over 200 blood tests using just a few drops of blood. In reality, the Edison machine produced unreliable or false results, and the company secretly relied on traditional third-party lab machines instead of their own technology. Employees flagged how the Edison lab tests were flawed, and their error reports were ignored. Meanwhile, Holmes and her partner Ramesh Sunny Balwani created a culture of fear where questioning the tech or company practices risked termination. The company manipulated data and presentations for investors and business partners. It shows ethical violations because Theranos lied about its technology, manipulated data, silenced employees, deceived investors, and knowingly risked patient harm. In 2015, journalist John Carreyrou from the Wall Street Journal began investigating Theranos after whistleblowers came forward. He published articles exposing that the technology didn't work, producing false test results, and putting patient health at risk. Some patients were told they has HIV or cancer when they didn't, and others were told they were healthy when they actually sick. Revelations destroyed public trust and triggered official investigations. 2022, the moment of Holmes' downfall. Elizabeth Holmes refused to acknowledge the truthful statements made against her.
I'm not sure. I don't know exactly. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly.
After a long trial, Holmes got sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in prison issued by the Judge Edward J. Davila in the Northern District of California for defrauding investors of hundreds of millions of dollars. The Theranos case became one of the biggest examples of ethical misconduct in modern science and healthcare. It showed what happens when ambition, profit, and reputation come before honesty, evidence, and patient safety. In this case, there are key lessons we must remember. First, ethics and integrity are more important than ambition. Holmes prioritized success and profit over honesty, resulting in manipulated data and inaccurate medical test results. This shows that in research and healthcare, lying can cost lives. Second, the case highlights the value of transparency and accountability. Scientific results must always be verifiable and supported by evidence. When we hide mistakes, the consequences become bigger and more harmful. Third, whistleblowers matter. Without individuals who spoke up, such as Erica Chung and Tyler Schultz, the fraud might never have been exposed. Speaking up can protect the public. In conclusion, the Theranos scandal became a global reminder that innovation without ethics is dangerous. Elizabeth Holmes faced legal punishment, proving that no matter how successful someone appears, truth will always surface. This case teaches us that real success is built on honesty, responsibility, and respect for human lives. Theranos no longer exists, The company was shut down in 2018. But the story of Elizabeth Holmes remains a warning. One drop of blood changed everything, not because it saved lives, but because it revealed the danger of lies disguised as innovation.